do want to very briefly introduce Sophia Casey, MCC. I don't know if you guys know her. If you don't, that's a shame, and I'm a little bit embarrassed for you because Sophia is everywhere, and she is a huge partner with us here in South Florida. She does the Get Shift Done. Notice I said that correctly. Get Shift Done. And she is going to present today, and she is going to do plot twist, but I'm not going to tell you what the rest of the title is. So, Sophia Casey, is it all right if I just turn it over to you right now?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Miss MCC Sophia Casey.
You. I'm grabbing the baton from you.
Ah, there we are.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. So grateful to be with you. I am Sophia Casey. I am a master certified coach. I slow down and I'm quite loud every time I say master certified coach. And that's because, Coach Flavia, I am so proud of that designation. So I share about my MCC unapologetically because you know as well as I do what it takes to get to the master certified coach level. And I'm not just talking about the hours, not just talking about the hours of experience and the hours of training. It takes a lot of mind shifting. Mind shifting. And I'm actually going to invite you all to do a little bit of mind shifting today with the short amount of time we have together. I'm also very blessed to be the Chief Empowerment Officer. I just made that title up, Rosaria. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Chief Empowerment Officer of ICLI Rising, which is our level 1, level 2 coach training program, our school. And we are currently working on and putting the fine touches on a level 3 curriculum. And so we will be putting in our level 3 application at the top of the year. So looking forward to that. Total side note and shameless plug, our level 3 program will include naps. Yes, Coach Kristen, for real. Okay. All right. So just so you know. Okay. So I'm so grateful to be here. I hail all the way from the DMV. That's not Department of Motor Vehicles. That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I actually was raised in South Central Los Angeles, and I'm so grateful I get to go back to my home, California, next week. Who's going to converge? Who will I see there? Converge. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Really excited about that. So thank you so much. What else can I tell you about me? I don't like to say empty nester. My nest is not empty. I mean, I'm still there. But I do have a sophomore college student. So I always like to just give an extra virtual hug to our son, Josh. All right. Thank you so much. I don't like to do slides, but my team has asked me to commit to using slides, Jimmy, because they say I go all off and I get all excited and I'm playing a lot with you. So I will use some slides for today's conversation, but I promise not to do too much, not too much.
It's quite
So
all
let me
right.
just
Plus, you
get
want to show off the great work Maria Elena did. So,
yeah. Oh, she would love that you said that. I'm
it's on
gonna
the
tell her
recording.
you said that. Yes, Maria Elena is my executive assistant, and she is a godsend. So yeah, let's show off her pretty work. We'll show her pretty work off. There we go. All right. And if someone will just come off of mute and tell me, yes, you can see those slides or that slide.
I see him.
We
I
can.
see it.
We can see them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So thank you for being here. You know, when I got asked by ICF South Florida to come, and I'm always going to be a yes for South Florida, first of all, because I'm a member, but I'm also a member of other chapters too. But South Florida gets a yes, like immediately. There are only two people who get a yes automatically, and that's Valeska, and that is actually Dr. Akina, who happens to be here too. So they asked me to do something, I'm always going to be a yes and do my best to work my schedule out. So I'm grateful I was able to do that and be here with you all. And, you know, when they asked me to come here and just, you know, to support this week's activities around the core competencies and just supporting coaches, the first thing that came to me immediately is I want to support coaches with getting paid. Like, I'm not even going to pretty it up. That is something that's really, really, really important to me in this work that I've been doing for Now 2 decades. It's really important to me. We all know that we love the work, right? We all love the work, but I want to also make sure that the work loves us too. And loves us financially. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I also love to just give a big shout out to any educators. I was a former educator for a long time, a very long time. Anybody, a former educator, teacher, current educator? So just put yes in the chat, or if you know one, if you know a teacher or educator, just put yes in the chat for us. Awesome. Just always like to give a special, special shout out to our educators who just work so, so hard. And I had the wonderful opportunity to serve as Director of First Impressions for former Vice President of the United States. Now, can you say that was a coach boot camp? That was a boot camp in leadership and coaching skills. So I like to credit the White House to giving me the inkling to go into coaching, into the coaching world. And of course, I love to give a shout out to my wonderful team at ICLI Rising. We have, as you can see, a very diverse team, diverse in all types of ways, and especially geographically geographically diverse. That's the word I'm looking for. We have team members from all over the world. We've graduated coaches from all over the world, including South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Canada, Bermuda, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Dubai, India, and we're very, very proud of that. So what you have to look forward to today, what we're going to do, we're just going to take a little road trip, if you will. I'm gonna certainly share some things with you around the core competencies, but in a completely different way than you probably have experienced them before. I'm going to share with you and invite you to take a look at the core competencies, or some of the core competencies. We won't go through all of them, but some of the core competencies through a different lens. So actually using the core competencies as your business blueprint. Ooh, can you get excited? Let me see if they're excited, Jimmy. Okay, yes, great. All right, so use it as a business blueprint. Then we'll have the opportunity to explore what I call, my top four ways to get hired by using the core competencies and also get rehired. How about that? I like that part. To get rehired, we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive around an opportunity to just practice the work and to practice handling objections. Anybody get sweaty palms or like a very dry throat or butterflies in your stomach when someone asks you what you charge? Okay. Or if you're doing, okay, I see some nodding heads. When you do that sample session and you get to that point of the conversation when they're like, oh my God, that's great, Jimmy. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited to do this work with you, ready to work with you. And then they say, and what's your rate? Anybody else? Is it, or is it just me who experienced that? Okay, I'm not by myself. So I want to offer you something around handling objections. Then we're going to have a little opportunity to talk a little bit about trust, and how to gain trust instantaneously. I'm going to share at least one success story with you that I hope will inspire you to continue to relate to the core competencies as support for your coaching business. And then we'll wrap up with some reflection. And I'm always giving gifts, so I'm sure I'm going to pull out some type of gift before we wrap up today. Any questions about the road that we're taking? Any questions at all about the road that we're taking today? Okay, awesome. Oh, college educator. Yes, yes, yes. I see that, Coach Kristen. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep going. So I say that the plot twist is that, oftentimes we separate how we show up as coaches from how we grow our businesses. And one of my intention words last year, anybody else do that? Every year I choose an intention word. I'll say a prayer and ask for an intention word for the year. But last year my intention word was integration. Will somebody just write that in the chat for me? It's a great reminder for me. Integration, integration. So last year I really spent some time just looking at my life. And what I discovered is what I was doing oftentimes is putting the parts of my life against each other. I can either be a great college mom, I can be a great wife, or I can be a great entrepreneur, or I can be a great friend, or I can do this. Like always putting all these parts of my life against each other. And so I'm so glad that my divine team gave me that word integration, because it had me to start to think about, well, Sophia, I mean, do they all have to compete? Or are there ways to create both ands in your life? Is there a way for all the parts of your life to support each other? And so, again, a lot of times as coaches, we separate our business from the work that we love so much, called coaching and supporting those one on one clients, those group clients, those team clients, right? Those corporate clients. But what if they actually don't compete? What if they are one and the same? So today we're going to explore how the core competencies can support you not only in your coaching mastery, well, of course, we're really focused on that, but also in attracting and sustaining clients, having businesses that work and continue to work. Okay. If you are aligned with this road that we're about to take, will you just put yes in the chat? Just put yes. I'm very chat challenged because I'm very visually challenged, but I just like to see that little notification keep going up. Thank you for putting yes in the chat. So I'm going to talk to you throughout this conversation, and you'll hear me use a word, enrollment. Enrollment. Now, of course, enrollment does mean like the physical or the mechanics of enrolling or putting someone in a class. So in my coach training school, of course, we do a lot of enrollments. For this conversation today, and actually in our coach training work, when we say the word enrollment, what we're talking about is, I want Katya to do something. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Katya? Yeah, look at me. Oh, hello, showing out. Okay, so I want Katya to do something for me. Instead of trying to convince her, beg her, manipulate her, what I'm going to focus on is, what could I say? Who could I be so that Katya, at the end of our conversation, is crystal clear about what's in it for her, to align with what I'm inviting her to align with? Okay. So if you're a note taking person like me, I would put enrollment is what's in it for them. What's in it for them, and also what's in it for me. Okay. Enrollment is really just another word for something that we know very well. Our core competency that talks about establishing and maintaining agreements. That's what that core competency is about. It's about enrollment. Is the client clear about what's in it for them? Or, excuse me, potential client, because we're going to talk about potential clients. Is that potential client clear about what's in it for them to work with you? And so one of the core competencies, it's one of the core competencies that we already practice. When we are willing to bring presence to a sales call, I even feel weird even saying sales. I'm like, I don't do sales, okay? But when we are willing to bring presence to a sales call, we're not performing. When I got this a long time ago, oh my gosh, it's been a little over a decade ago, the light bulb went off for me. I'm like, wait. Let me make sure I got this right. So I'm doing this sample session. Here's this potential client. I want them to hire me. And all I really need to focus on is what's in it for them. And I actually don't have to perform. I remember a time being in a sample session with an IT executive, a C-suite executive. I would say he's the equivalent of like maybe the fourth or fifth person in charge at Hewlett Packard. And I remember my palms getting sweaty. Yes, Jimmy. I remember the butterflies. I remember the nervousness because I thought I had to be just as smart as him about information technology. I don't know anything about servers and mainframes and all, even though I was director of HR for IT in a large IT organization, I still don't know that stuff. That's not my zone of genius. And once I got in coach training, actually, once I got and I heard, you actually don't have to be an expert. You don't have to perform for that potential client if you are willing to stay present and keep the conversation on them. And we ended up working together for a very long time. And I still don't know anything about servers and mainframes. Okay. So when we bring presence to a sales call, we're not performing, we're actually being. BEING. We are being. And Jimmy, if you will put being in the chat for me, that'd be great. So we're not focused on performing, we are focused on being. Who is it that I need to be? Who is it that I get to be in order for Kristen, Coach Kristen, to relate to what it is I'm offering her? Okay. Listening deeply positions us as the partner with that potential client, not the salesperson. I'm going to just take a deep breath. I'm remembering back way back then when I first started in this work. I was doing a lot of performing. I was stressed out going into these sample coaching calls, thinking that I had to know so much about so much. So I'm grateful that I learned a lot in coach training, and I learned even with the core competencies that that is not the expectation. And yet still there are these things called saboteurs. Anybody know anything about some saboteurs, or is it just me? Maybe they just come over to my house. But anyway, there are these things called saboteurs, inner critic, self-doubt, imposter syndrome that sometimes get spooked and try and tell us otherwise. So I want to invite you just to play with me here. I want to hear from you. What would you say is the hardest what is hardest for you when converting prospects or potential clients into hiring you, into actual clients? Is it A, talking about the price, your rate? Is it explaining coaching clearly, like explaining what it is that you do? Is it helping clients see the value, right? These are the top objections. Or is it following up with them? Okay, put that in the chat. Please put your answer in the chat. You can put A, B, C, D, or you can put all. I would put the whole alphabet actually, but I want to hear from you. I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay, we got B, C, A. All right, it's coming in. The price, okay. A and B, A and C, yes. Price. Explaining coaching, yes, yes. Keep it going, please. Establishing the duration of the program. Ooh, I want to talk to you about that. Shakti says, see, helping clients see the value. Yeah, so really supporting them with being able to connect, like what's in it for them. Okay, got some A's and C's. Okay, we got a nice variety. All right. Okay, Doctor, and let's see, is it Doctor? I'm very visually challenged. Is it Dr. Lysell? I think I have that right. Says depends on the client. Interesting. I want to know more about that too. Okay, we got A's, D's. Okay, I saw at least one D there, follow up. For me, it was definitely the D following up. Okay, awesome. And if you haven't chimed in yet, please do. I want you to consider that okay, Akina, you're with me with the D. Every one of these, every one of these objections, every one of these challenges that you just put in the chat, every one of these is a coaching opportunity. I'll say it again. Every one of these is a coaching opportunity or a moment to coach. Every single one of these is a coaching moment and not actually a sales problem. Now, my colleagues who are sales experts and all of that, they may argue with me. I won't listen to them, but they may try and argue with me and say, no, 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 you have to know this about sales and that about sales. Well, you know what? I don't. Nor am I interested in taking any sales class. Jimmy's like, neither am I. I'm not interested in that. It's not my zone of genius. And I want to spend more time in my zone of genius. So now we're going to get an opportunity to just take a look and let's see how those 2025 core competencies. Oh, anybody familiar with those new core competencies? Yay. That was a phenomenal team that really worked on that project. I was one of them. I had to do that. Okay, so let's see how the 2025 core competencies turn these coaching moments, these coaching opportunities into actually client conversions. Okay, into conversions. So just speaking of my friends here at the ICF didn't add anything new. I keep saying, I've been saying that ever since they unveiled them. They didn't add new competencies. Let me be clear. They didn't add new competencies. And I am glad about what they did do. They refined what mastery looks like in some key areas. And these refinements make our coaching more human. I was excited about this, and I'm not just saying that because I was on the team. But I was really excited about making these core competencies more human because for a long time, anybody can relate to that. You can just put yes in the chat or put no, I don't relate. But for the longest time, I related to the core competencies almost like homework or like they were my guiding principles, so a lot with some heaviness. So with these new updated core competencies, the 2025 core competencies, the team actually brought in more and paid attention to and shined more of a brighter light around the human aspect of it. And I feel like they also made the core competencies more marketable. I'll explain that a little later as we go along. So we're going to focus on four that directly support client attraction and client retention. Like I keep saying, yeah, I want the client to hire me, but I want the client to stay with me too until they're finished with their work. Okay. Any questions before we go along, please? You can interrupt me anytime. Drop your question in the chat, come off of mute. I'm completely okay with being interrupted, except for by my husband, but you all can interrupt me. No problem. Yeah, I saw that, Katya. All right. All right. So the four that get you hired. So and rehired. So I want to focus on these four core competencies. Embodies a coaching mindset. Okay. Cultivates trust and safety. My favorite core competency evokes awareness. What a nerd. Who has a favorite core competency? Yeah, I am a nerd. Okay. Evokes
I
awareness.
do. I love evokes awareness.
Thank you, Jimmy. Sometimes I feel like I'm by myself. Every time I say my favorite core competency, people are like, what? Your favorite? Yeah. Right? Now, why is that
Totally.
your favorite? I want to know.
Well, most recently, it's because that's what we kicked off this summit with was me teaching or talking about number seven. So we had a great time in there. But I love helping people turn that light bulb on and make that connection where they don't have it. Like until it's real and they can relate to it and feel it in themselves, then it doesn't stick very well.
That's exactly it. That's why it's my favorite. Like literally, sometimes I feel like I can literally see a physical light bulb over their heads. And it's like, it's exciting. And when they get that awareness, I mean, you could even see it in their bodies, how they light up. In fact, I was in a coaching session today, and my client, she won't mind me sharing this. She actually wrote me a testimonial, so she won't mind me sharing this. But my client said, OMG, I found my heart. I'm like, who would want that job? Where you go to work and you support someone who says, OMG, I found my heart again. So she got a lot of awareness. So yeah, I agree with you. And then of course facilitates client growth, right? Because we know that's a big part of the work that we do, right? Just going to check in on the chat really quickly. I'm doing better about checking in on the chat. All right. Oh, Shakti says she loves that one too. Little happens without awareness. Yes. Okay. I got another me too. Who else was that? Rosario. Thank you, Coach Rosario. Yes. Oh, I got a few. Okay. Everybody's kind of connecting with evokes awareness. All right. So we're going to go a little further here. Okay. So again, I want you to keep thinking about the core competencies, and actually using those in our business or as our business blueprint. Okay. And it's based on just what you just said: self-awareness, ongoing learning. Okay. Your mindset determines your magnetism. Ooh, doesn't that sound sexy? Let me say it again. Okay. Your mindset determines your magnetism. So I get asked all the time, Coach Sophia, how do you get clients so easily? How is it that your conversion rate is so high? How do you get these corporate clients to hire you? It's the magnetism. Now, my mom and dad would say some of it I was born with, but I believe a lot of it is because of the work that I do around my mindset. So when those saboteurs are telling me, girlfriend, you're going to charge her what? Right? It's my mindset that says, I have faith in myself. I know who I am. I am a bold, courageous, free leader. I am brilliance, energy, grace, play, heart, and majesty. I literally, those are my what's called core words, and I literally say them every day. It's the magnetism. And the magnetism and being able to attract clients starts with our mindset. I'm curious about what does that mean to you as you hear me say that? You can come off of mute, you can put it in the chat. What does that mean to you? Mindset determines magnetism.
It's the energy that you can create by putting you're attracting. I mean, it's the magnetism that attracts your client is what you put out, is your coaching mindset and how you communicate.
Yes, it's the energy, the energy, the energy that you're putting out. And I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Coach. I'm usually thinking about, as I'm preparing to talk to a potential client, excuse me, I like to get really curious about their energy. What's their energy? And who do I need to be, or who do I get to be as I walk into this coaching room? I walk into this beautiful space. Who do I get to be? That's a powerful, open-ended question. You're welcome. Go ahead and write that one down. Yes. Who do I get to be in order to co-create this space called a coaching session, called a coaching engagement, so that this person can get that awareness, can have those light bulb moments, can leave the coaching session saying, I found my heart again. Yes, thank you so much. Mindset determines magnetism. Curiosity replaces pressure. So earlier I asked you if you have ever experienced that pressure where your palms start to get sweaty when people ask you what your rate is, or that pressure to perform. I want to encourage you to flip it and get really curious. How can curiosity, in your opinion, how can curiosity replace pressure, or how can curiosity support you with not feeling so pressured and in performance as you talk to people who you want to hire you? That was a long question. I would not have passed that MCC recorded call if I had asked that question that way. I'm curious, anybody? Curiosity replaces pressure. What does that mean for you?
Clarity.
Please say more. Clarity? Say more.
Listening to what the client really needs, not what I have, but what the client has.
Yes. Listening.
Be present.
Yes.
Thank you. Please say more. Be present. Yes, I heard that.
Well, if you are 100% present and you just take in what is, you are giving them the space to express themselves and be who they are.
Yes.
No judgment.
No judgment. You're just being present. You're just being curious. Thank you both, coaches. And I like to think about it sometimes as like that toddler level curiosity. That toddler level curiosity where they're all in your face. Oh my God, Jimmy, you have like a headphone on. And, oh my God, I used to have a headphone. Wait, what color is the headphone? Like, wait, I want to hear you. Like, I'm talking about that level of curiosity, like where you really don't know. You really are in the unknown. So then you're like an open vessel to be able to hear deeper what that other person is saying, what that other soul is offering you. That's what makes getting hired easy for me. It's not about me. And I get it. Sometimes I get a, if I get a no, sometimes you come out of that, potential client conversation or that sample session. And sometimes, I'm human. And my humanness will say, see, you didn't do that right. And that's why it's so important to take care of ourselves. Back to that mindset again. Thank you. Here's a little tip that I want to offer you. Ask, don't pitch. Let me say that again. You want to ask. You want to be curious about this other person. You want to be curious about what makes them tick. What do they like? You want to make sure that you heard Jimmy say his favorite core competency is evokes awareness. Then you want to get curious about that. Ooh, tell me more about that favorite core competency. Ask, don't pitch. Ask about that book that they have said they wanted to write for 26 years. True story. Ask about that book. What got in the way? Ask forward-facing questions. When you have written that book, Akina, what will that make possible for your life? What will it look like, Kristen, when you've actually opened that purple poodle grooming salon? No judgment, right? So ask, don't pitch. Here's a simple open-ended question. Hey, Carol, what would make today's conversation valuable for you? What would make today's conversation valuable for you? What am I doing? I'm doing what we do all the time. I'm doing what we do every day, Coach Heather. I am coaching. Don't we ask those kind of questions in a coaching session? What's top of mind for you? It's the same when you're in a conversation with a potential client. You're using the same coaching skills. All right, I'm going to check in on the chat again. Yes, thank you, Akina, for putting that in there. Yes, ask, don't pitch. Okay. Coach Amanda says, it feels like an extension of the idea that the client has the answers. I don't need to have them. Yes, yes, and more yes. They have them. Sometimes I kind of think like I'm going on a scavenger hunt. Okay, now I'm going back to my kindergarten teacher days. Going on a bear hunt, right? I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm curious. I'm going on this road trip. Okay, let's keep going. And then I'm gonna get you all to play a little bit more. The emphasis in my sample coaching conversations, I like to place an emphasis on psychological safety and on awareness of what's actually emerging. People don't buy coaching. I'm sorry. Beat me up later, okay? But I'm just going to tell you the truth. People don't buy coaching. What are they actually buying? Put it in the chat. I know I have some ideas here on the screen, but I want to hear from you. Put it in the chat. What are people actually buying? They're not buying a coaching package, no matter how cute Maria Elena, my assistant, made it. What are they actually buying? Okay, so I have here, they buy safety, belief, they buy connection. Let me hear from you all. What are they actually buying? Yes, they're buying confidence. They're buying protected time. Ooh, protected time to think. Coach Amanda, can you imagine if somebody asked you, what is it that you do? What is it that you do? Oh, I co-create protected time to think. What? Can you hear how sexy that sounds? Versus, oh, I coach and I support people with, having transformation and desires of the, nothing wrong with all of that also. But listen to how different it sounds. I'm curious about that, what Amanda wrote. I want to know more. Okay, so confidence. They are actually buying a thinking partner. Yes, someone who listens deeply. Absolutely. My client literally said that today. She says, Coach Sophia, I'm so grateful to work with you. I finally have a place where someone just is listening. Someone hears me. Someone sees me. Yes. Let me see. Let me get a few more. Thank you, Coach Kim says they are buying the who. Yes. The who. I sound like an owl. The who and what else they want, and believe that I, as coach, can actually support them in getting that. My goodness. Who wouldn't pay $7,500 a month? If you're interested in where that number came from, I'm happy to talk to you about it offline. It's one of my real numbers. Who wouldn't pay $500 a month? Who wouldn't pay $125 a session if if what they can actually get from this engagement with you is a safe space where they're being heard? If they actually could get the who and you're paying attention to the who they are, I'm gonna go a little further. Okay, Coach Eileen says they're buying time and space. Yes. Thank you. Coach Katia says they are buying a better me. Come on. Where is the department store where I can get a better me? They are buying an easy way to accomplish their goals. So they're not struggling and grinding and trying to reach their goals all the ways that they were taught or all the ways that they learned before. They can actually experience some ease and flow. True story, that was me. They can actually get some awareness that to build a business, to build a team does not have to require grinding and, that knuckling and clawing, unless I wanted it to involve that. And I got that I also can do the same thing from ease and from love. Who talks about love in corporations? What? I could actually do it from love. Shakti said they're also buying trust. Yes. They're buying a way. Yes. They are buying confidence and empowerment. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You all literally just wrote. So if you want to download that chat, I would. You all literally just provided copy, if you will, content for what you can post on social media when you want to tell people what you do. You just wrote some ideas, some bullets, some things that you can say in those sample coaching sessions when clients ask, what is this coaching thing about? Okay. Trust starts before the contract. Trust starts before the contract. Every message, your tone, silence builds or breaks it. Let me say it again. You're in that coaching, that sample coaching session. You're in that conversation. This person has come to you. They're doing this sample coaching session with you. The trust actually started well before you start talking about logistics of your business. Well before you even mention your rate. It starts in the silence. One of the things I said in a sample coaching session with the client who had been working on her book for 26 years. 26 years. Now, I had to be careful, Katia, that I was not bringing judgment into the space, like 26 years. Okay. So I had to make sure that I was checking my own biases. Okay. But for 26 years. So I just asked her, hey, I'm curious. I hear you say you wanted this book and you've wanted this book for 26 years. I'm just curious, what kind of things came up for you? What got in the way? Well, I'm a mom. I was a mom of little kids. I was a wife. I was responsible and making sure that my family was good and had dinner on the table. Oh, and also I was climbing the corporate ladder. So no judgment from me, but what she did is she gave me a lot of data. A lot of data. And I just asked, a question that just popped in my head was, tell me more about those circumstances and how they look right now. What? Tell me more about those circumstances and what do they look like now? What are you all picking up from what I just said before I stretch that out a little bit more? Tell me more about those circumstances and what do they look like now? And I'll check in with you all in the chat too.
Definitely curiosity.
It's curiosity. Tell me more. It's not judgment that it took her 26 years. I'm inviting her to just spend a bit of time getting connected to the circumstances, because that's what they are. They're circumstances. I had a serious circumstance called cancer. I had a circumstance, I still have a circumstance called a husband with a brain tumor. Do you all hear me? I have circumstances. I had a circumstance called homelessness. Her circumstances are not deeper, more, less than mine. It is a circumstance. Your potential clients will bring to you their circumstances. It's not our job to judge whether or not they're real, big, small. They're just giving us data. So I got the data. Her circumstances were young children, being a mom, being a wife, climbing the corporate ladder. So when I asked her that open-ended question, I mean, her entire body lit up. She was like, well, actually, my kids are in college right now. And oh, by the way, I climbed the corporate ladder. Like, I'm retired now. What else? I'm still inviting her to share. Oh, let's see. Okay, well, yeah, the kids are grown and I already made it to the top of the corporate ladder. Oh, and I divorced him. Oh, okay. All right. So that circumstance called marriage, that it changed. So I'm just getting data. And then I went back into the conversation with her again. With what? Silence. I just shut up, Jimmy. Silence. And she started to share and share and share. And then the light bulbs are going off. And she goes, well, wait a minute. What is holding me back from writing the book? Right. Now, there was a little shooting on herself. I did say shooting. There was a little shooting on herself. Like, oh, I should have done it then. I should have done it 15 years ago. I should have done it. Right. So we worked through that. But she got some epiphanies. She finished her book, published her book. It's up on Amazon. She did that in 3 months of working with me. 3 months. How was that possible? So I could, if she were not my client yet, and we were in a sample coaching session, I'm just taking in that data that she gave me and I'm just presenting it back to her. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm just presenting it back to her. What have I also done? I've built trust, literally instantaneously, because I'm hearing her. I'm not judging her. I'm taking what she said, her own circumstances, her own stuff, and just presenting it back to her. Every message, the tone of our voices, the silence that we're willing to put into a space, the more we're willing to zip the lips, all of that happens and can happen before a contract. In a discovery call or a sample session, safety equals conversion. Will somebody put that in the chat for me? Safety equals conversion. If this potential client, if this human, this soul, this person feels safe, most likely they're going to end up being my client. So there we are. We're back to the core competency. Do we not have a core competency about safety and trust? Okay. Yes. We're right back there. It's the core competencies that we talk about and use and look at all the time. Make that a part of your business blueprint. How can I continue to create trust and safety, not just with the clients I'm working with, but with the potential clients? The potential clients. Okay, I'm gonna go a little further, then I will check the chat, I promise. Excuse me. Evokes awareness. There you go, Jimmy. Excuse me. Evokes awareness. Whoop, whoop. When a prospect or a potential client experiences an aha, a light bulb moment, some awareness, they get to feel the value of coaching before they've even paid for it. Katya, you haven't even pulled out the contract. You haven't even told them what your rate is. And yet they've experienced ahas. They've experienced a relationship with themselves. They've gotten curious about, their goals and what they want to create. I love those sample coaching sessions or the discovery calls that end up sometimes with the client saying, or the potential client saying, you know what? I don't want that goal anymore. I don't even want to do that. That was somebody else's dream. I don't even want this big, gigantic house. I actually want a little bungalow on the beach. When a prospect or potential client experiences an aha, they feel the value of coaching before they even pay for it. So why wouldn't we focus on trust and safety? Why wouldn't we focus on having this conversation with them where they possibly get more awareness? You can offer an insight, a reflection, a question that could literally shift the atmosphere in that sample coaching session. It could literally shift their perspective. Awareness is the wow moment that makes clients hire you. And it happens again and again and again. And I love in the new core competencies, a 2025 update, the core competencies focuses a light on sharing knowledge without attachment. And there's been a lot of uproar around this. I'm not going to go into this right now. I'm not going to get on my soapbox. But wait, knowledge, we're not supposed to be sharing knowledge. We're not supposed to be telling our clients what to do. No, the way I relate to that part in the updated core competencies is I have the permission to share what it is my intuition says there is for me to share, or what my experience says there is for me to share. The most important thing, I'm just not attached to it. Okay, I'm just not attached to it. So sharing your knowledge, asking questions, making a reflection. I told a client one time in a coaching session, and I actually did it in a coaching demo too for South Florida, ICF South Florida chapter. But after the client, talks and sharing, very vulnerably about why they don't have what it is that they say they keep wanting to have, I was very quiet. And then I just said, you're lying. I know, clutch your pearls, stay with me, coaches. I was like, nope, you're lying. She said, what did you just say? I said, you're lying. Now, you can imagine what was happening over here for me. I was scared. No, not scared. That's pretty. I was scared, Kristen. I was scared. But I trust this work. I trust the process. I trust my intuition. I trust my divine team. And I said what there was for me to say. And I was also okay with her saying, you are completely off base. What do you think actually happened? I'll take this down for a moment. What do you think actually happened when I said that to her?
I think the client said, you're right.
The client said that I was right. but it was more like, I translated that too. You're right. So much emotion. She couldn't even control all the emotion. And what she said later was, thank you. Thank you, Coach Sophia. Thank you for seeing me. I feel like crying now thinking about that session. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for your courageousness of saying what there was to say. Now, of course, she could have not hired me, or actually, she was my client. She could have fired me. I tell my potential clients that if some point along this journey you don't want to fire me, I'm probably not doing my job. I'm probably trying to do your job. Okay. Awesome. How we doing? Want to just check in. Just show me some emojis on the screen. How you doing?
I just have a comment about what you just shared. You know, our eyebrows were lifted and some people gasped. But it occurred to me after you explained that she said you were right, that if you weren't, all it would have done is get her to, or them, whoever it was, to kind of get very specific of why you're wrong and build and believe in themselves even more and defend and double down, if you will. And there's no harm in that either. That's a bold move you took, but either way, if you look at it, you really couldn't lose.
Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps all over. Thank you, Coach Kristen. Either way, neither of us could lose. Can't put the genie back in the bottle. I've said it. And I'm so glad you pointed to that, because it didn't just do something for her. It literally shifted my coaching to where I am willing to take those bold risks more and more than I was prior to doing that. And I tell you, internally, what was happening, I was like, no, I'm talking to my divine team. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm having this internal struggle, but deep breaths. Now she's my colleague, actually. She's one of our instructors at our coach training school. We talk about it all the time. And she shares all the time of how that literally shifted the atmosphere for her. Would you be willing to do that in a sample session, in a discovery call, or as a chemistry call, whatever we call it? Are you willing to really be with someone, not just cerebrally, but heart to heart and soul to soul? That is what people are looking for. They don't need another bestie. They're paying you to be off the court. Hi, is it Coach Sully? I thought I saw your hand raised. Is it Sully?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've known to have done that. But if that was a recorded session for my PCC, I probably would have failed me immediately, but the guy was a CFO and he hired me because I called him on his bullshit.
Bam. Bam. Because you called him on it. And I don't know. I'm in the assessor community. I don't know. Maybe at the MCC level, that call might have passed. Maybe PCC. What do you think, Jimmy? I don't know. Because what we are listening for as assessors, we're listening for the true and authentic you. We're listening for
the process. And by listening, you can even tell when the person doesn't want to deal with their own reality. I mean, I can just feel it on their energy that they really have an outer garment to the truth that's behind it.
Yes, you could actually literally feel it.
Yes.
Sometimes it's like so thick, like you can literally
yes. And
yeah.
that's so I sometimes I'm constrained to do that on a sample coaching or discovery, but sometimes I just can't help myself because it's being authentic. I'm feeling it. So anyway, that's me.
Thank you for putting that in. I want to encourage all of us, and then I'll go over to Coach Flavia. I want to encourage all of us. We do it, a lot of times we are willing to take those type of risks in our coaching sessions, right? With people, with our clients, right? And I imagine I was more willing to do it there because we had a relationship. But what's available to us if we actually do it before the contract? Yes, there's a risk. They're like, Coach Adrian, no, you're not hired. There is a risk, right? And is it breaking? I love your name. Yeah, there's a risk, right, Coach Breaking? Like, you just said what to me? There's also a risk in deepening connection instantaneously and getting hired. The more I saw myself being willing to do that, to connect, not just head to head, heart to heart, soul to soul, soul to soul. Those are the clients who go home and talk about me. Like one of my clients told me earlier this week, my husband thinks he knows you. Like, why? Because she's always talking about coaching in her household, right? Because it's something she holds dear. Those are the clients who then go to work and say, hey, manager, I want to talk to you about this coach named Sophia. I think we should have her come in and work with our team. Those are the people who go sell me much better than I could sell myself. Thank you. Coach Flavia. Is it Flavia? I've just been saying Flavia. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, perfect. And I love the way you put yourself there, like Sophia Casey, MCC. From now on, I'm going to put PCC and MBA.
Yes. Oh, God. You all can thank her. You can thank her. She just gave you a huge, bright, shiny gem.
Yeah. But my comment is not about that. My comment is, what is the difference for you if I said you are lying to yourself instead of what you said you were lying?
Ooh, that's so good. Anyone want to tackle that before I put in what I see? So what do you hear is the difference between you're lying to yourself versus you're lying?
I think you put someone on the defensive. You're framing them in a negative light versus opening a door for them to become something more.
Yeah, that's how it felt. It felt like when I said you're lying, it was almost like a question, like an invitation. It was almost like I don't know, but that's the download I'm getting versus the you, like saying the you. That's what I have. Anybody else have anything to
Yeah,
offer?
just a comment there, Sophia. It's very interesting because talking about culture, I'm from Brazil, right?
Ooh.
I know Sueli is from Brazil too. I don't know if anyone else here is from Brazil. But when you say you're lying to me, to the other one, it's much more, it's so bad. And when you say, when you are lying to yourself, it's smoother. It's like, you are not lying to me. You are not offending me, or you're not trying to, make me believe something different, but you are lying to yourself, which is deeper. It's cultural. That's why I asked you, because in different cultures, maybe I don't know what does it mean in Japanese culture, but in Portuguese, like in Brazilian culture, I would say that when you say you are lying, you are pointing a finger.
I really appreciate you putting that in. And I see some other folks are chiming in, um, uh, aligned with what you're saying and also showing a different perspective. It's super important for us to be clear about the cultural nuances, right? And our core competencies say that. Like, I'm going to get to know this person. Who is this person? Now, that particular client, like I said, now she's my colleague, but that particular client, we were in so much deep relationship that I could say that. I've actually asked clients too, hey, Shakti, would you say we're in relationship? Sometimes I ask just that question. Would you say we're in relationship? Typically what I get, I've been working with the person for a while, they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. So what I'm doing is I am basically asking for their permission, right? To say what it is that my tuition says there is for me to say. So being in relationship is very, very, very important. And understanding cultural differences and nuances. Absolutely. I know Akina's probably jumping out of her seat to talk about that. But yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I just learned from one of my colleagues also in the assessor community that, and she's from Portugal, that they don't have a word acknowledge. So, you know, in the new core competencies, it says that the coach acknowledges the client, and we took away celebrates. She was like, well, what am I supposed to do? We don't have that word in our language, right? So I really appreciate you putting that in. And it really also begs us, taking the conversation back to our businesses. That's part of being a great business person. Learning your client. Just like if you were going to pitch yourself to a corporation, what do we do? We get on Google, we get on ChatGPT, we get on, right? We go do our homework. It's the same. It's the same. Thank you so much for putting that in, Coach Flavia. Coach Shakti, yes, please.
I think in relation to this, and I think this is the reason why not every coach is meant for every client, because not only is there that the chemistry to me is not just about my expertise and your expertise. It's also about all the other things that play in how we show up and who we are and the language that we're going to end up using together and how we're going to co-create. I mean, it's like every other relationship on the planet, that it just feels like for you to be able to say something like that to that particular client, had I said it regardless of relation, it might not have landed the same way, because I am a different human being and they know me as a different human being. And if they don't know me, I might have asked a question instead of made an observation, right? But that's how they get to know me. And so I feel like when you do those courageous things, at least for me, when I do courageous things, I try to do it from that mindset of like the whole picture, so that it's not just about the courage in that moment.
Ooh, I feel like jumping out of my seat. Thank you for putting that in. The whole picture. That was one of the changes with the 2025 core competencies. Facilitates growth is now, you remember our previous core competencies was all about this coaching session, this coaching session, this coaching session. What did the person learn at this coaching session? Now ICF has broadened that core competency and asked us, are you taking into consideration the whole, not just the whole person, but their whole ecosystem? Did you ask about the previous sessions? Did you remember what they said last month when they were experiencing similar circumstances? So, right. And if you all sat in on some of my coaching sessions, I'm sure you'd be like, are they speaking another language? Like, because you develop your own language and your own cadence with your client. I have it that's also possible before they are your client. That actually could have them hire you. Can you imagine a coach being so invested in you and in this work as a potential client that they've done their homework And also they're so invested that they are committed to co-creating this relationship. Like right now, right now. Thank you, Shakti. Who else? I feel another hand. I can feel it. Sorry, I'm an empath. And if you don't want to say it off of mute, please put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, please. Okay. We're in the home stretch. I just want to go a little bit further. Okay, I knew it. Go for it, Akina. I know I felt that hand.
All right. I love where this is going about what we're doing and how we phrase things out, in the session. But as far as bringing people to the yard, most of the things that we're doing when we're bringing in clients is going to be outside of the coaching session. So how do we evoke awareness? We're talking about our favorite one here. Evoke awareness through our marketing and through our branding to let people resonate with us as a coach so they want to come to us, they gravitate to us. That's the part that I haven't heard yet, unless I missed it.
OMG. If I had a mic, I would drop it, and I can't find the mic emoji fast enough. You're doing it now. I'm doing it right now. Jimmy was doing it when you all first started coming in the room. My assistant, Maria Elena Valencia Renteria, was doing it with this, how pretty she made my slides. You do it every day, Akina, on LinkedIn. What am I talking about? We're doing it all the time. We are literally co-creating relationship all the time. You're doing it in the grocery store too. You're doing it on the highway, Coach Heather.
Every time we try to make a connection with somebody.
Every time. And even if that person isn't, I'm not connecting with them for the, thinking about them becoming my client,
Right.
just pure connection.
Right.
Just connection. We're doing it all the time. And that's why I kind of when I hear sales, I'm like, no, that's not what I do. Because sales feels to me like something I have to turn on, like turn on the sales switch, right? I don't have to turn on connection and relationship. I have a mentee, one of the coaches I'm mentoring. She's like, Sophia, I do not want to be on social media. I hate social media. And she's going, blah, 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 blah. You too, Jimmy. He's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And so I just waited and let her get it all out. I just said, okay, cool. Where do you want to go next? What? Did you hear me? Like, I don't want to do it. Okay. I hear you. I got it. She had it. Her context, her fixed belief is, in order to be a successful coach, in order to be a successful entrepreneur, I must be on social media. I said a long time ago when I had a radio show, I interviewed a New York Times bestseller, who, if I said her name, you would know who she is. She did 0 social media. How did she sell all those books? Connection. Going to little bookstores. Having little fireside chats. She hated social media. And so I love social media, but I don't believe you have to be on. Yes, me and Akina. I love social media, but it's because it's part of my strengths and my zone of genius. I don't feel like I have to put it on when I go to do my Core for Coaches LinkedIn Live every Tuesday at 1:00. Did you like how I did that? Every Tuesday, 1:00, LinkedIn Live. Okay. I don't have to put it on or turn it on, so it doesn't feel heavy at all. Being here with you all right now, there are people who no way, shape, or form would they have told ICF South Florida chapter yes to come and speak to all of you beautiful souls. Because you're beautiful souls, but you're also beautiful saboteurs too. Right? Number one fear is public speaking. Thank you for being with that, Suli, and let me call you Saboteur. Okay. Number one fear, public speaking, fear of rejection, above death. Did you all know that? Public speaking is number one. So that was my long-winded way of answering your question, Akina. What do you have? And then I'll go over to Suli.
Yes, I wanted to thank you for that because in a previous life, I was actually a social media coach when I started. And so that was one of the things that my coaches had problems with was, oh, I don't want to do social media. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do, and I definitely don't want to do live streaming. Oh my goodness, this and that. But what they didn't understand is there's many ways to market. And if that is not your area, then fine. And then you can always outsource.
Yes, we love outsourcing.
So, I wanted you to really say that because, a lot of people put too much pressure on them for that.
Absolutely. And if you're putting that pressure, we just talked about that, right? If you're putting that pressure on yourself, guess where else you're going to take that pressure? And called another way, that performing. Where else are you going to take that performing? You're going to take it into your discovery calls, right? It's a discovery call. It's the same. You might as well call that discovery call LinkedIn or, God forbid, TikTok. You're going to take the same performing into that space. I get asked all the time, how is networking so easy for you? Well, yeah, part of it is because I'm a high E. I am a high extrovert for sure. Well, I'm actually an ambivert because I'm like, after I finish all the stuff, I'm like, leave me alone. I close the blinds. Don't answer the phone. But yeah, so that does make it easier for me in many ways. But it's also because I just relate to it. Like, it's just a conversation. Okay, I'm going to ICF Converge next week. Another shameless plug. ICF Converge next week. Okay, cool. Oh, wow. I get to meet Femi, Coach Femi in person. Oh, I get to have a cup of tea with Coach Femi. Like, Coach Femi will probably end up hiring me as his mentor coach. Oh no. It's just connection, connection, relationship building. I keep getting asked, Sophia, what's the secret formula? I'm sorry, I sound like a broken record. Connection, relationship, relationship building. Thank you. I'm going to go over to Coach Flavia and then Coach Suli, and then I promise I'm going to wrap up, Jimmy. I promise.
Yeah, what I just had this aha moment when I heard Aikina's question was, why don't we use all those aspects that you brought to the table, like confidence, space, intentional connection, partnership, empowerment, time and space in our communication? Because we tend to, always do the same, like what do you want to transform, what do you want to achieve, what the goals and the best version of you, blah 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 blah, which everyone speaks all the time, right? So
all the time.
Those are, like, I think, very interesting elements for our communication,
Yes.
marketing.
Yes. It's the same thing. It's the same stuff. It's the same. We don't have to put them against each other. Thank you, Coach Flavia. It's the same. Think about core competency number 1 and the ethical standards and the ICF code of ethics. Like, how could it took me a minute to wrap my head around, like, well, how can this support my business blueprint? Well, it talks about being a person of integrity. What does that mean? That means I'm going to follow through on that sample coaching call that I just had yesterday. And actually, no, I'm going to do an Akina. I'm going to have my admin assistant follow up with that person, and then get us back on a call if we need to do that. But the point is, I'm going to be a person of integrity, where I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Right? It's the same stuff, coaches. It's the same stuff. I don't have to go purchase another business blueprint, although I do have one on Amazon. I don't have to go purchase another signature program, although I like that kind of stuff. I can literally start with the ICF core competencies. And I told my friends at ICF, like, okay, if you all are going to update these core competencies again, I'm going to really like use these. Let me take a look at these. And then, of course, I got the call from Claudia. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll come talk about core competencies. Not in the way you think. But thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you, Jimmy, for still letting me come anyway. Who else?
You're always welcome. Please. You made the all the core competencies come to life. So you evoked awareness with how to use the competencies in our sales efforts. So I think that counts.
Thank you.
It's pretty amazing.
Thank you. I can express to you, and I actually started doing this with the previous core competencies, how much pressure it relieved for me. You know, I work with a lot of, and a lot of my friends are very successful entrepreneurs. And so we're always in these conversations about the business plans and the strategic plans and the strategy, and all of that stuff is extremely important. And it's not my zone of genius. So I make sure I have people on my team and I have people in my village where that is their strength and their expertise. So I wanted to, well, what is my strength though? What's my zone of genius? I happen to love me some core competencies. I happen to love, and my zone of genius is coaching. One of them. Why not use that? Why do I have to go put on something new? Okay. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to close up, but I just want to share, invite you to see kind of like a case study, if you will. And then I have a gift for you. Okay. So just like a little bit of a case study. So that just kind of like proof, if you will, that this has really worked. So the company Dress for Success, anybody familiar with the very large organization called Dress for Success? Just put the word yes in the chat if you've ever heard of Dress for Success. They're a nonprofit organization that is focused on providing, they started being focused on dressing, right? Providing clothing for women who are re-entering the workforce. Well, of course, that has just expanded tremendously. They are all over the world. They're all over the world. So a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, Dress for Success worldwide, so their headquarters, hired me to coach their global ambassadors. So they have global ambassadors, so 12 women from all different parts of the world who represent their brand. But they hired me to coach them, do a few one-on-one coaching sessions, and then to also do a workshop or a series of workshops for them around my favorite topic, saboteurs, around saboteurs. So that engagement went extremely well, was very successful. I would say that on both sides. It went very, very well. Excuse me. Now, then a year later, I'm like, that was a really good engagement. I'd like to work with them again. And so what I did is I pitched myself to Dress for Success to hire me again. Before the formal proposal, before all of those bells and whistles, before the sales, all before that, I just invited one of the program managers, she was a manager at that time, to get on a call with me. I'm like, oh, it went so great. Now, of course, in that email, I did remind her of how great it did go. Okay. Like, oh my gosh. And this is what your global ambassador said. And would you be willing to just get on a call with me? I just want to check in with you, see what's happening in your world, what's happening at Dress for Success. And if you're open to it, I'll share a few things that are happening for us over here at ICLI Rising. So, of course, she was like, sure. We get on the call. We have a great conversation because we're reminiscing about how great that previous engagement went. And she shared with me things that the global ambassadors were still saying about their coaching experiences and how they actually use that work to support them around many things that they accomplished. So we're just having a great conversation. Connection. That's all we're doing, right, Jimmy? All we're doing is chatting. Okay, we're just having a great, great conversation. And then I said, well, you know what? I would love to work with them again. And she said, OMG, Sophia, I'm so glad you asked. And this is the perfect time because we just got a huge financial donation from the TJX Corporation, specifically TJ Maxx. What? She said, this is the perfect time. I literally just came out of a meeting with my colleagues where we were brainstorming how we were going to use the funding that we just got from TJ Maxx. So what should we do? And we literally created our engagement right there in that conversation. So now they're a repeat client. And so now, again, I didn't have to pitch myself. I didn't have to do a sales call, right? I literally just used my coaching core competencies to build connection, to continue to build connection. And I kept thinking about facilitates growth. That's the other one we didn't quite get to, but we kind of did get to. Facilitates growth says that I'm not just going to be focused on the growth right then. I'm going to be focused on sustainable growth, supporting this client with sustainable growth. So then I kept thinking about that. How can I be a part of their sustainable growth? Not just the 2 coaching sessions they got a year and a half ago. How can I continue to support them? So now I've hired some coaches who will coach those global ambassadors starting literally next week. Okay. So they're getting more and more coaching, right? And then I said, well, you know what I think would be really cool also? How about they get trained as coaches? Bregan, I know, right? Clutch your pearls. How about I customize a coach training course? I won't do a full-fledged program course for them. And when they come out of this course, they will be certified coaches and they have opportunities. They can take the skills into the work they're doing for you all as global ambassadors. They can take the skills into the companies that they work for. They can take the skills, which is so, so important to me. They can take the skills into their communities. And I get so emotional when I think about this. So now there are these 12 beautiful, remarkable women, leaders, who are now going to have what you and I have. They're going to be brought in on the secret called coaching, called awareness, called transformation. And now they can take it back to their communities. And I said the other opportunity they have is now they can actually have their own business. And I'm telling you, that program director, yeah, because she had been promoted by then, she practically leaped out of her chair. Her face, what? So now at their graduation that will take place on November 21st, they will have members there from not just TJ Maxx, but from their other corporate sponsors. They will be in the room celebrating these 12 souls. How's that for sales? I only used what we use every day. Nothing different. Hadn't even sent she didn't even want a proposal. but I sent her one anyway. I want to be a good steward of my business. It was just a conversation, connection, not just head to head, but I connected with her heart. She lit up also when she's talked about, she was like, oh my gosh, Sophia, the global impact. They loved the workshops and learning about their saboteurs. They still use the same language. Connection, 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 connection. Now, I promised you a gift before Jimmy kicks me out of here. I'm going to drop several links in the chat here. Hopefully they will link. Oh, yay, Maria Elena does it again. Look at that. She's so good. So one of our interns this summer created a store for us called the Rising Store. So it's just the end of our name, ICLI Rising, the Rising Store. On there, we are building that store. There are several things there. There's one favorite called the 22 organizations that hire coaches. And there's nothing up there on that store platform that I have not used myself. I actually use the 22 organizations that hire coaches, and I actually got hired by a few organizations. Strawberry.me, who will be at ICF Converge, another shameless plug for Converge. Okay. So it does work. That's what I'm trying to say. The work works. And I want you all to pay attention to, there is a offering there on that platform about, let me see, let me pull it up so I get it right. Bear with me. But what this does is it can support you around, like, if you do get nervous in some of these conversations, like, oh my gosh, what do I say? Or even in coaching conversations, okay? What do I do if I get nervous, even in coaching conversations, okay? And I want you to go there and bear with me, and I can find the name of it. Okay, there it is. 80 practice scripts to help you slay the discovery call. So if your saboteur said, don't listen to her. I know she's saying, follow your intuition, listen to your divine downloads. I need you to have some questions to ask in your discovery call. I gave you that too, okay? And you'll get a percentage off, 10, 11, 12%, I don't remember, but you'll get a percentage off if you use this promo code, and I'll put it in the chat. There you go. Because that's the truth. Coaches do rock. All right. And I think it has to be in all caps. So visit our Rising store, grab those 80 scripts if that's going to support you. Our website is also there. And of course, my LinkedIn. And I would love, love, love if you would connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you for the time. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity in time and in attention and in engagement and in connection. I'm grateful. Over you, Jimmy. And
thank you, Sophia. Thanks for making us laugh and cry and be more aware. Thank you for all those good things. The emotional swings are the best, right? I'm glad we were able to do that. Thank you so much, Sophia. If you all haven't clicked on the survey yet, go ahead and scroll back up. We'll stay on here for another minute so that you've got time to scroll back up and look for it. Click on the link. If you are not registered for this evening's session about coaching mindset, so we didn't talk too much about number 2, but we did say mindset equals magnetism or determines magnetism, which I completely agree with, because, if you want to be a positive magnet and attract other people, you better be a little bit positive in your mindset. So look at those things there. If you're not a member, raise your hand right now. If you are not a member of ICF South Florida. Oh, Bragan, my dear, I have seen you at every single thing. How much did this dang week cost you? How much? Come off mute and tell us how much this cost.
Not that much. I think I spent 150 on this week.
Oh my goodness.
I was in another thing from Tuesday to Thursday, so I was kind of juggling.
Totally understand. Well, do yourself a big, fat, juicy, lovely, delicious favor. Become a member because it'll cost you less and you'll get all of this and a whole bunch more.
Bragan, would you like to write your email and I'll get the VP of membership to contact you?
Beautiful, Katya. Thank you. Making a connection. Yeah, Bragan, seriously, you've got a beautiful, beautiful soul, beautiful presence. You know what? I was watching a recording. You were watching us on an airplane.
I was.
You were in a plane and you were still tuned in. I was thoroughly impressed with your determination. So thank you, Bregan, for doing that. That was awesome.
One announcement more. We're going to have a virtual coffee the 22nd. And you are invited. Bregan, you are invited. So you can bring a friend. So the idea is to get more people to this wonderful
Katya, does
chapter.
the VP of membership know that you were just giving away free goodies here? You're the gift giver today too, not just Sophia?
Yeah, it was wonderful last time. So we'll have people connect from all over the world, and it's really nice. You bring your own coffee or drink or.
Katya,
So-
can you share that, please?
Yeah, it's the 22nd.
It's in your email. I know that much because it comes in the email.
I think it's the 22nd, 8:30 in the morning. I'm gonna make sure
Ooh.
you all receive so be connected in social media, and you can bring a friend who's not a member.
Well, if you're from around the other side of the planet, then maybe, something other than coffee is adequate.
In
But
Miami, Shakti was there, so yeah, everybody's welcome.
It works if you're in China. It's evenings.
100%. Yeah. Hey, and
Depends where you
sometimes a
live.
little Bailey's in the coffee. You never know.
There you
All right, we don't want to get in trouble
from
here.
Singapore, from Australia, from all over the show. So
It's pretty remarkable.
For anyone here.
Thank you. Beautiful. Shakti's always so good with the technology and the links. Awesome. She's our Maria Elena.
She is good.
So good. All right. Sophia, thank you so much for your presence, for your coaching amazingness, and thank you so much for doing that great work with Dress for Success and those amazing young women. And thank you for being a partner with ICF South Florida. We really appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys here too. I feel kind of special being the only guy on the channel today. So that was fun.
Very inspiring, Sophia. Loved it.
Very much so.
Thank you.
All right, y'all be good. And we'll see you tonight or at the conversations, the coaching convo thingy.
And Adrian, I got your message. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Oh.